as I said in one of my other blog posts, that I have a couple of sewing books. I have two sewing books that I actually am kind of using to get some tips. So the first one that I have right now I'm going to talk about is this one. It is Sew Everything Workshop, the complete step-by-step with 25 fabulous original designs, including 10 patterns by Diana Roop, I guess it's pronounced. So here's the book, and inside you're going to see this little envelope here, and this, which is, I did open already, is the patterns, actual paper patterns for the different projects that she walks through in the book. So that's nice. And it's a spiral bound, which is also nice. So it's easy for laying flat when you're trying to read stuff like while working. And it has a nice little contents page here, as you can see, that goes through just some super basic topics. So this is a great book for brand new hobby seamstresses that are trying to just get all the basics down and get everything they need to do together. So there's information about gearing up, what you need to prepare your space, tools you need, how to choose some materials, also just different easy, basic, super necessary techniques like making seams, how to press with your iron, using patterns and how to cut patterns and things like that. And then in the last part, it's actual projects that you can make with the patterns that are in the front of the book. So this is a great book to start with, I think, just because it gives you the tips that you need to make the products, to make the patterns that are actually in the book. So it's a good starting place. This does not have any super fancy or advanced techniques in it, so this is definitely a super basic book, but it is a great starting place, I think, for just getting started sewing and doing some easy projects to kind of get the blood flowing a little bit and build a little bit of confidence. And then you can also use it as just, a reference guide for some different easy techniques that if you're trying to do something on your own or use a pattern and you forget what something means in the pattern, you can go back to this book and look at some of the little tips and tricks in there, and that'll help you right along. And so that is the first book that I have. Okay, so the second book that I have is this one, which is actually a 3-volume set. It is LeeWards' Complete Library of Needlecraft. This book may be a little bit harder to find if you are interested in getting it, because I think this is out of print. This came out in 1975. So this is a book that I got out of my mom's house, and it comes with 3 volumes. I have the 3rd volume right here because it has the most to do with sewing. The first volume is about knitting, crochet, and hook art. The second volume is about embroidery, needlepoint, rug making, and macrame. And the third one is the one that I have here, which is about sewing, patchwork, and applique. So this book is also, I feel like this book is really helpful because once you get past the basics, like some of the things in the other book that I showed you, the Sew Everything Workshop book, this one has a little bit more advanced tips about how to finish edges and how to put together patterns and different stitching techniques and building sleeves and things like that. So this one I've referenced quite a bit when I'm trying to like experiment with making something without a pattern and things like that. Some of the things that they are showing you how to make are super dated, so could be a little vintage, but it's definitely great. The techniques don't age, the techniques are the techniques. I mean, sewing things is, sewing things. I'm sure that there's like technology and stuff that changes, but the basic strategies on how to stitch and how to construct things are staying the same. But this is a great book that I am really enjoying using because it has a lot of tips that I am looking for in there. I do look at YouTube a lot for some, tutorials and things like that, but sometimes it's nice to just kind of read something through and not have to like flip back and forth in the video. I can just keep this page open, try it out, and see how it goes. And it also has some pretty good illustrations and some pictures in there. So there's always like some little figures that go along with how to do whatever it is that you're doing in there. For example, here's one on how to alter some pants, some nice bell bottoms there, making them shorter in the crotch, wider, letting them out, taking them in. And so this is really nice. And for example, in here, like enlarging the bust and things like that. So these are definitely more advanced techniques, but stuff that is super useful when it comes to altering your own clothes, or like me, if you do a lot of thrifting. I have a very specific strategy on how I shop at thrift shops. I don't look at the size, I just kind of go like this, like through, and I pick out the things that I like the pattern of first, and the colors. So I'm pretty much just only looking at the edge of the shoulder. And I pull it out, kind of look at it, see if I like it, and then if I like it and it's too big, I don't care because I can fix it at home. And this book can help me do that. Sometimes it turns into something similar and just taken in, or sometimes doesn't work out very well and I end up just kind of scrapping it. But my other rule of thumb is I typically don't spend more than $9 or so, unless it's something really good that I'm just going to wear right off the rack, so that I don't have to be mad if I mess it up. And it's a great, project that's on the cheap. So this is a really good book. So if you can find it, I looked it up, and there are some on like eBay and stuff, or used on Amazon. So you definitely can still find these. The price range, on the other hand, is very wide. I saw some for like $10 and some for like $50. But I think it's a really great book. These are the only two books that I have right now, so I can't compare them to anything else. But of these two books, I think this one has a lot of more specific techniques for alterations and stuff. And then this book is definitely your I would like to start somewhere book, and here's a great starting place. So both of these books make a great kind of stepping stone. I learned the basics in one book, and now I'm ready to kind of branch out on my own, but I don't know how to make this hem, or how do I take this in, and I can reference this book for those type of things. So those are my two books that I have, and yeah, maybe you can check them out. Let me know if you have some other books that you really like, and leave a comment, and maybe I will pick them up at some point. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But I'm always looking for new things to learn about sewing, so